This is the new CMX500 Honda Rebel, and in this video I'm going to tell you what this bike's like and is it worth you going out and buying it. The Honda Rebel costs £5,849 in the UK. I've got the bike in matte black here, which looks awesome. It's very menacing. I like the bike in matte black. You can also get it in matte Axis grey metallic. You've got matte jeans blue metallic, pearl organic green, and you've got graphite black, which is like a gloss black. I think the bike looks great in matte black. Now, we did review this bike in 2020, but obviously I wanted to revisit the new model and get a better review because I believe we've improved a lot since then. My opinion of this bike hasn't really changed. I still love it. It is a great machine, especially for a new rider, and that engine is very good. So let's go into some details about that. Now, to be precise, the engine in this is 471cc. It's a liquid-cooled parallel twin, and this engine is great. It's very smooth. It's smooth throughout the rev range, and it does like to be revved. It produces 34 kilowatts at 8,500 RPM, which translates to about 46.5 brake horsepower, and it produces 43.3 newton meters of torque at 6,000 RPM. It's all very well me telling you the figures, but how does the engine actually feel? At low RPMs, it's not got that much torque low down, so it likes to be revved, so it's best kept in the higher RPM range, and that's where it really likes to be, and the engine just keeps on going when you rev it out. And this bike does feel pretty fast for what it is, especially that it's A2 compliant. So if you are 19 years old in the UK or Europe and you've just gone and got your A2 license, you can go straight to your Honda dealership and buy this bike as it is. You don't have to restrict it. It meets the requirements, which is 35 kilowatts, this is 34. So yes, you can get on this bike and not have to do anything to it, and what a bike to start with. We say this about basically any Honda we review, and you just can't go wrong with them. Yeah, I mean, this bike is fantastic. They've got a new exhaust on this model, which is Euro 5 compliant, so it does meet the Euro 5 requirements. That does mean normally that your bike's a little bit quieter, but they're quite a standard anyway. I can't really tell a difference between this and the old exhaust, but it does give a nice little tone to it, and you do get the odd pop and burble on the overrun and when you shut off. So I think, well, with an aftermarket exhaust, this bike would sound really good. I have heard a few videos of them with one, and they do sound good. Don't sound as good as maybe a Harley-Davidson Iron would, but it's not too bad considering it's a lot cheaper. go, suspension. You've got a 41mm telescopic forks on the front, and on the rear you've got Showa suspension with ProLink system. The suspension is pretty good on this bike. It's not out of this world, but it soaks up pretty well. A little bit of a firm ride, but a nice one. Lots of you have been asking that you want to see the CMX500 review, and we want to do it. So let us know in the comments section below if you want to see us review that bike. We're very eager to, so we're just trying to get it arranged with Honda to get one. Managed to get the 500 first, but hopefully we can get an 1100 very soon. The Rebel has a single disc brake on the front and the rear. The stopping power is okay. I think it could be better. Maybe double discs would be more suitable for this bike. I've just come off the Honda CB500X and the brakes on that were a lot better, but that did have twin discs at the front. So I think this could do with it as well. But for the type of bike it is, it's okay. I've also just bought a new camera, so hopefully in this video you can see the difference between this one and my old camera. My old camera was a Canon 750D, not really that good. The new one is a Sony ZV E10, which is very, very good from the looks of it. So let me know what you think of the video quality in this video. This particular bike has been fitted with some of the Honda accessories. You've got the Meter Vision little screen here. It protects your upper body slightly from the wind, but if you're tall like myself, it doesn't make a huge difference. You've got the Pillion backrest, which I'm sure will come in handy, stop you slipping off the back. Definitely a good accessory there. And you've got this luggage rack on the back, which is certainly going to come in handy. You could strap some bits to that, maybe a little backpack or something. So that's definitely a nice accessory to have. The seat height is 690mm, and I am 6'1", and this is what the bike looks like on me. It feels okay, to be honest, just when we're riding. I think, if anything, it's slightly on the small side for me, this bike. But you tell me in the comments below, what do I look like on it? Do I make the bike look tiny, or does it look just right? It feels okay, so if you are above 6 foot, you're going to be fine on this bike. And if you're below even 5'4", you'll be able to touch the ground very easily because it's not a very tall bike. So this bike is ideal for a wide range of heights. Before we carry on with the video, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out massively, and it helps us get the newest bikes first so that we can give you the best quality reviews. Bikes like the Honda Rebel 1100 and the Harley-Davidson Sportster S, things that we wanted to get straight away, we can't really get because of our numbers. So the higher numbers we get, the better bikes we get. So it's in both of our best interests. got a trail of 110 millimeters and a wheelbase of 1,488 millimeters. And this bike feels very planted. Going along at motorway speeds, 70 miles an hour, it feels very stable. Around the corners, it's not twitchy at all. It just feels very sure about itself. So you can ride this bike very confidently, especially as a new rider. You're not going to have any issues on this bike, and it's very simplistic. There's no riding modes, so you just get on the bike, off you go. You don't have to think about anything. It's not like some bikes where you've got a sports mode and then suddenly you change the mode and it's a different animal. This bike's got everything on tap when you want it. The Rebel 500 weighs 190 kilograms, which for this sort of bike is pretty light, and it does feel light. It doesn't feel heavy at all, so it's not like getting on a big Harley. You're going to feel like it's going to topple over if you're a new rider or if you're not very big. This is very light for what it is. It's got an 11.2 litre fuel tank, and it does 26 kilometres per litre, which we don't do in the UK, so who knows what that means. It's 73 miles per gallon, which is very, very good in my standards. Comparing that to a Harley-Davidson Iron, you know, that gets about 49 miles per gallon, so this is a lot better fuel economy, so you're going to be spending less time at the petrol station and more time on the open road. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that this is a very good looking bike. It just looks so cool and menacing. I think you could turn up anywhere on this bike and people are going to look at it and go, oh, that's a nice bike. I just had a dog walker come past and say how nice it is and ask me what it is. They thought it was a Harley-Davidson. It is that kind of styling. That's why I compare it to the Iron, because they're similar specs and styling. So really, it's between that and this. I do think this is a very good looking bike. What do you think in the comments below? I just think the shape of the tank, the way the lines sweep is just gorgeous. Talking about how good looking this bike is, another person's just come past and said what a gorgeous bike it is and asked me about it. So there's another point. So you really will get stopped wherever you go and people will talk to you about this bike. It is a talking point. And I think even more so with the new 1100. So we can't wait to try that out. The Rebel has a 6-speed manual gearbox and it's very smooth, as with anything Honda. The clutch is very light, so if you've got not very strong hands, you won't have any issues there. And the mirrors, I can see about 50% of the road behind me, so not too bad in the mirror department. They are quite a small round mirror, and the bars are quite narrow, so if you've got wide shoulders, it means it cuts out a bit of your visibility. And with the bars being so narrow, it means this bike is great for lane splitting, great in the city, honestly, really good in and out of traffic. It doesn't complain at low RPMs. So this bike is really a perfect all-rounder. And if you wanted it as a daily commuter, I would really recommend it. The display on this bike is very minimalistic. I like the way it comes up with Rebel as you start it. It tells you what gear you're in, your miles per hour, what speed you're doing, and how many miles you've done, and your petrol gauge. So that's all it tells you. The only thing it doesn't tell you, which I really, really wish it did, is your RPMs, because I feel like that's rather important to know what RPMs you're at, so you don't over-rev the engine, or so that you can be in the right gear. So that's something I would really like to see them add to this bike, but apart from that, it doesn't really matter too much. its rear pillion pad and pegs as standard, so you can take someone on the back straight out of the box. It's not going to be that comfortable, so probably only short journeys, but at least you can do it. And if you didn't want to do it, you can unbolt this and keep it nice and minimalistic. You could take off the pegs as well, but you can't take the bracket off as it doubles as the exhaust bracket. So there's a little bit of a downside, but to be honest with you, it's all in keeping with the style of the bike. I don't think it detracts from it, so there's no point in doing that anyway. Thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. As I said before, it helps us out massively. If you like the Honda Rebel, tell us what you think about it in the comments below. And if you've got one, tell us what it's like to live with, because that would be really interesting to know. And we'll see you in the next video.